Previously on A Body in Progress.
Welcome to the Former Couch Potato Club. Where do I get started? The answer is, just get started. Number 2 is go slow. Third, get over feeling stupid. Let's switch over to food now and... Let's switch over to food now, and I am not by any means an expert in this. I have had conversations with a couple of friends who are very knowledgeable about what to eat, how much of it to eat, and when, based on whether you're trying to lose weight, gain muscle, whether you're preparing for a bodybuilding show, or you're, just all of the various reasons, various phases of self-improvement that a person can be in. It all changes. It can be extremely complicated. So if you're just getting started, I have some very simple pieces of advice for you here. On the question of how much to eat, I will pass along to you some advice that was given to me way back in 2010. Eat a deck of cards. And what is meant by that is, I had a deck of cards in this room. When you're, for protein, chicken, beef, whatever it is you're eating, for your protein serving at lunch, a chicken breast or something else like that that's about the size of a deck of cards. All right, if it's on your plate and it's filling half your plate, it's probably more protein than a beginner like you needs. It should look like you could pack it into a box that holds a deck of cards. That was the advice given to me, and that is actually the size of a pretty typical chicken breast from a grocery store bag of frozen chicken breasts. So if you eat one of those, good to go. Even if they've pre-pounded it and pre-grilled it into a patty, like a chicken sandwich you might get at a fast food restaurant, that's going to be about the size of a deck of cards. So that's a pretty good, just easy rule of thumb for getting going there. There are more complicated principles for how much protein to weigh out for each meal if you really want to nail it. Again, I'm just getting you started. So if you're an expert watching this and you're sitting there going, Brian, I'm talking to the beginners. You experts, go away for just a little bit and I'll get back to you. Or you can get back to me. However you want to do that. All right, eat a deck of cards. And then on your plate, after you've got the deck of cards of protein, add veggies, vegetables. The advice I've always heard, nobody's ever said how much. The advice I've always heard is however much you want. Pack on the veggies. Technically, they're carbs, but even if you're counting calories, nobody's ever said to me, this much veggies, there's such a thing as too much vegetables. There probably is, but nobody's ever said that. It's just have vegetables. They can never hurt. And then some kind of carbohydrate like rice, white rice, brown rice. There are other carbs out there. And then, so that's all kind of piece of advice, part 1. Part 2 is just that plate. Drop the seconds. Don't fill the plate to mounding and overloading. Just kind of fill out that plate. You've got the protein and the carbs and the vegetables. And don't get seconds. Okay, skip the seconds. When I first got it into my head that I needed to lose weight, I knew practically nothing. But I said to myself, I know one thing I can do. I can just start eating less. And I told myself, stop getting seconds. I'll tell you, the first Thanksgiving meal where I tried that, because I love mashed potatoes. The first Thanksgiving meal where I tried that, it was so painful to see everybody else getting, getting more and more mashed potatoes. And here I was telling myself, Brian, you're done. But eventually it became easy. It became very, very easy. So that's what I'm eating. That's the plate right there. And then I'd eat it and I was done. And if I really, really needed to fill up on more, if I really felt like I needed seconds, it was of vegetables. which really stunned my mother. Another thing that's really easy to state, it's a really easy principle, though it may be a challenge for you, is cut out anything that's excessively sugary. For me, it's Pepsi. I love Pepsi. Pepsi feels so good going down on a hot day after a hike or working in the yard or anything like that. My wife is going to laugh at working in the yard. I have done it, sweetheart. I have done it. Even just sitting around my house, if it's really hot, a Pepsi feels so good going down. I used to direct plays at the community theater, and they had a refrigerator in the workroom, and they just had an unlimited supply of refreshments for cast and crew. And I could go through, in a 3-hour rehearsal, I could go through 3 sodas, 3 cans of Pepsi. I gained weight every time I directed a play. Over the 2-month period from auditions to opening night, I gained weight every time. And one day I said to myself, okay, cut out the soda. And so I cut out the soda. Now, here's kind of part 3. If part 3 is cutting out the sugary foods, part 3B is don't go cold turkey. And some people can. Some people have gone cold turkey, and they have. I tried cutting out soda completely, and after a couple of months, I just needed a soda. And by the time I popped that open and it touched my lips, my body went, and I want more. And I binged. Okay? So rather than just say none, I mean, you can try it. You can try it. I'm not saying don't do it. But it really is very few people who can just say one day, they can wake up one day and go, I'm not going to have any more Pepsi. Or, I'm not going to have any more chocolate or whatever. Very few people. So I recommend, if you do 3 cans of soda at a 3-hour rehearsal, limit yourself to 1. And if you're rehearsing 5 days a week, reach a point where you just have 1 on Monday and 1 on Thursday. Okay. I use rehearsal as an example, but just anywhere in life. And it doesn't have to be soda. If it's cheesecake, which I also love, whatever it is, tell yourself, okay, not so much. And then drop it down from there and drop it down from there. And reduce it from your life. If you can just flat out eliminate it, go for it. But if you can't, drop it down, drop it down, drop it down. Work your way out of craving it. I may actually have even a sugar addiction. My wife and I are going to try some advice from a book on getting over a sugar addiction. And whether I do or don't, reducing the amount of sugar that I take in will be good for me anyway, and it'll be good for you. Well, your taking in less sugar will be good for you. My taking in less sugar will do nothing for you. I've talked about getting started with your physical exercise and your nutrition, and those 2 areas, since they deal with the physical body, are or they have a lot of common truth among all people. Yes, there are different types of bodies, different metabolisms, so certain nutritional instruction will work for some person and it won't work as well for someone else. Certain exercise regimens will work better for some people and not for others. But there are general truths that really kind of apply. But now I want to talk about the 3rd element, and that is the mind game. And that is where everyone is different. What motivates one person will do absolutely nothing for another person. Some people love the personal trainer who is a drill sergeant. And as much as I appreciate the one workout where Bill Haynes barked at me and pushed me and made me do it.
It's 30 pounds. It's a couple gallons of milk. Come on, pull it up. Pull it up. Come on.
That's not the kind of personal trainer I would just go hire. I have a different mentality than that. I spent most of my time mentally saying, Bill, stop it. I don't even think he knows that to this day. And if he sees this video, I'm fine with him knowing that he's a great guy, and I recommend his gym and him as a trainer. But everybody's mind game is different. That's my overall point. So what I'm about to say is stuff that I've found has worked for me. And the first one is pick a notable starting date. If I kind of slack off, if I fall out of the habit and I start to get out of shape again, I have a hard time just saying on May 13th, oh, I need to get going again. Let's get going again. It almost always has to be my birthday, September 29th, or it has to be the New Year, January 1st. Of course, the New Year is the most common time for anyone to start a New Year's resolution. And so many people do that and then lose it. Okay, I'm not going into that, but my advice is pick a notable starting date. Keep a notebook. I have friends who work out and don't keep any record whatsoever. They just go to the gym. They have a general idea in their head of what they're capable of. They work it, and if they found that it was easy, they go up. But if you ask them, now, how much did you bench press last week? They go, I don't know. I personally cannot function that way. That does not inspire my mind. My mind wants to know, did I lift heavier this week than I did last week? Did I lift heavier this month than I did last month? What is the heaviest I did last year? And can I beat it this year? In terms of the pedestrian style exercises like walking and jogging. I started years ago with the advice, go out for a jog. That's what everybody said. Oh, go for a jog, go for a jog, go for a jog. So I would go out and I would start my stopwatch and I would go jogging until my stopwatch said 30 minutes. And that very quickly became uninspiring to me because my mind wanted to know, am I improving? Am I actually getting better? I found for me, and this, some people can't do it. It drives them up the wall, the monotony of it. But I go to the track. I go to the high school track. And again, some people, you're just going in circles and it's just annoying. Well, that's fine. That doesn't inspire those people. The track inspires me because I can go with a stopwatch and I can actually see. Okay, the first 4 laps, the first mile took me 12 minutes. I covered 11 laps in 30 minutes. And then a month later, I can go, oh, look at that. I just covered the first mile in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And I finished 12 laps before 30 minutes was up. And I can actually see, I actually have a spreadsheet on it if you want to really get nerdy. I can actually see my 1 mile time and my overall time improving, my overall distance improving. And I remember the incredibly motivating feeling. The first time I tried to go for a jog at the track, the first time I tried to cover a mile, my mile took at least 13 and a half minutes. I get it confused with some other data, but I think it was 13 and a half minutes. And it was painful, and I was wheezing, and some of it was spent walking because I just couldn't jog. I could not maintain a jogging pace for 1 mile. I remember that month after month, for a few summers, I would go out and I would jog. And of course, in the winter when you stop jogging, your time gets worse, but then you pick it back up. And so each summer, my best times got better than the summer before. And I remember the feeling of crossing that line after the 4th lap, looking at my stopwatch and seeing, it's happening now, and seeing that I had gotten my mile under 10 minutes. I cried. I was so happy, and it felt so good that I cried. And I cried again when I saw that my mile had gotten under 9 minutes months later. For that reason, I personally recommend writing down every exercise you do. How many push-ups you did before you collapsed on the floor. How long you held a plank before you collapsed on the floor. My advice at the beginning of this video was go for a walk. I would suggest to you go to mapmyrun.com and actually plot out a route in your neighborhood and follow that route. From the moment you step off your driveway, start the stopwatch until you get back and put your foot back on the driveway. And even if you don't want to do that every day, even if you want some variety, once a week, follow that route with a stopwatch and stop it the moment you get back to your driveway. And see those times improve. See your speed get faster and faster, even your basic walk. And reach a point where you deliberately try to beat it. Well, it took me 25 minutes to do that loop last week. Let's see if I can just pick up the pace just enough to hit 24 minutes and 55 seconds. until eventually you're jogging part of it. Maybe one day you're jogging all of it, and you will get back to your driveway and you will see that you covered that loop in 15 minutes. And you'll go, I have shaved 10 minutes off that loop. And you will cry with joy for your improved health. All right, quickly. I try to keep my videos 20 minutes, and this is going to be a heck of an editing job. Buy a bathroom scale. And that goes along with keeping a notebook for your exercises. I like to see where I was. I like to see my weight dropping. There have been times I have stepped on the scale and seeing that it has gotten below 250, then below 240, then below 230. The day I hit 211 in the summer of 2012, I cried again. It's such a good feeling for someone who was fat, for someone who hurt getting out of bed in the morning and had back pains. That was a good feeling, was the day I woke up a couple years later going, I don't have any back pain. That must be because I lost so much weight. Oh, it's exciting. So, yeah, start on a notable date. Keep a notebook of everything you do, everything you eat, your weight. Get that bathroom scale. Yeah. And then real quick, create tangible goals. It's not enough to say, I want to lose weight and gain strength. It's not enough to say, I want to look like the guy on that cover. It's like saying, oh, I want to visit Europe one day. Well, what do you mean by that? You want to set foot on literally every square foot of Europe? No, I want to visit the Eiffel Tower and the Brandenburg Gate and the Leaning Tower of Pisa and Trafalgar Square. Oh, so you do have specific goals, okay? You have specific goals when you want to visit Europe. Have specific goals for your fitness. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to be able to bench press 225 pounds. I want to be able to run a mile in 10 minutes. Something like that. Identifiable. And if you're really brave, not only is the goal identifiable, but the deadline is too. I want to lose 30 pounds by the end of 2021. I want to run a mile in 10 minutes 2 years from now. I don't know. I'm making up numbers. I don't know who you are and where you're starting at. But yeah, make it definite and give yourself a definite end goal. So make those goals realistic, and make them small. In the next 3 months, I want to do this. You know you're not going to go from overweight blob to posing on a bodybuilding stage in 3 months, but that 3 months is one step to getting there. All right, so set that concrete goal, accomplish it. Then set another goal and accomplish it, and another goal and accomplish it. And to be honest, I have never yet accomplished any of the goals I've set. Any. Not the short-term ones, not the long-term ones. I've always been behind. I've always missed. But you know what? I'm down 60 pounds from my heaviest weight for having tried, and my mile is 6 minutes faster than the first time I tried for having tried to reach my goals. Everything about me has improved. I haven't hit the goals, but I've improved because I've tried. So set the goals, focus on them. Do not kick yourself if you fail them. Take note of what you did achieve while you were trying to reach them. All right, I really think I'm out of time here. I hope that was helpful. I hope that helps you. If it does help you, if we reach the end of 2021, which as I record this is exactly 50 weeks away, talking about notable starting dates, if you like nice round numbers, Sunday, January 10th, and I hope to post this video before Sunday. I hope to post it by the end of Saturday night, the 9th. You've got 50 weeks. Join me. I'm going to be really focusing for those 50 weeks. I want to make a transformation like never before. If we hit the end of the year and this video was key to your getting started, I'd like to know. I think if enough people do, I actually want to create t-shirts that say the former Couch Potato Club and send them out to anyone for whom this video or this series benefited. So, yeah, keep in touch. Keep watching.